it is continuing to hit milestones, and shout out to Sonic 3. I thought it was really, really good. Now, this is the first weekend that Mufasa actually beat it at the United States box office, but the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise has now grossed over $1 billion, and obviously with the budget that these movies are on, very, very impressive. Sonic 3 is on its way to becoming easily the highest the highest grossing movie at the box office, as it just kind of continues to climb and climb and climb, with Sonic 4 on the horizon. But Jeremy, if you thought that it might be in contention, possibly, like obviously it wouldn't be, but if you thought that maybe they're going to throw their hats in the ring for Best Picture, you would be wrong. The Academy says that Sonic 3 is ineligible to be nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars.
Yep. Now, why would that be? Why would it be ineligible for Best Picture? Now, to be fair, I'm not sure I expected it to be nominated for Best Picture, and I wouldn't be offended if it wasn't. I enjoyed it. I thought it was great, but I'm just talking about from an Oscar standpoint.
Yeah.
Not what's really
no
wasn't expected
of being nominated,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. So it really wasn't on my radar. So, but here's the headline is, and you're like, okay, well, Sonic 3 is ineligible. Why would Sonic 3 be ineligible? Oh, you're gonna find out.
Yeah, and to be honest, we don't really know. But we know it's one of two options. More than a third of Oscar qualifying films this year are not eligible for Best Picture. There are 323 feature films eligible for the upcoming Academy Awards. The Academy of Motion Picture Arts Science announced on Monday. The whopping 36% of those are not eligible for consideration in the Best Picture category. So that doesn't mean that these movies can't win in like their own specific little domains or whatever. But when it comes to Best Picture, there are certain requirements that you have to live up to. The discrepancy between films that are qualified in the top category and films that are eligible in other categories comes either because the filmmakers did not attempt to qualify, so basically had no interest in even inputting it for possible nomination, likely the case for several documentary, animated, or international films, or because of the new eligibility rules that require Best Picture candidates to meet additional benchmarks for diversity and inclusion. This is the second year the representation and inclusion standards, RAISE, have been enforced, although they don't appear to disqualify any serious contenders in this category. And this is it, the Oscars diversity and inclusion standards. You know, things like a lead or significant supporting actors from underrepresented racial or ethnic groups. Oh, I think hedgehogs are underrepresented.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we do not know, right? This does not tell us whether, you know, Paramount, whether they actually wanted to like, hey, we're just not even going to bother this because it's obviously not going to win Best Picture, or whether it didn't qualify because of the diversity standards. I can tell you that Mufasa is in there, right? There's Moana 2 is eligible. Mufasa the Lion King is ineligible, but Sonic,
it's a no-no. Eligible? You said is eligible. Mufasa, right?
Is eligible.
Okay.
Now, I like how they put Sonic the Hedgehog 2 here instead of 3. This is a fucking typo on this thing. But things in caps are not eligible, either because they didn't submit it or because it doesn't meet the diversity standards.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that hedgehogs definitely are, what is the word? What's the terminology? Underrepresented group. This is the what other film has a blue hedgehog represented? This is important. This is very important for hedgehogs and for furries. Most of them, not you, Tobias, but most of them are mentally unstable. And
that's true. You know, that counts. The LGBTQ community, exactly. Underrepresented, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Exactly. Not you, Tobias. We like you. You're good. But most furries are mentally disabled. And so you're just completely shunning that entire community, which I don't think is very inclusive at all. I think that goes very much against your narrative. But the reality of this is this is just absolute nonsense. Like
I don't really know what it is. Neither of us do. They didn't put it in this post. You know, they do have, I mean, Idris Elba is obviously a supporting character in this as Knuckles. It's voiced by a black man. You've got, Sonic's mom, basically foster mom, whatever you want to call it, is black. I don't know. I don't know if these things would qualify for that or not, or if they were like, I mean, we're not going to win Best Picture. Best Animated. Hey, maybe we got a shot. No, it's probably going to go to fucking Moana or Inside Out or something like that. But yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just funny that this is a possibility, that Sonic is not eligible because a movie about hedgehogs and fucking flying foxes and all this shit might not have enough black or gay people in it.
What exactly is the inclusion standard, though? I don't really understand. So
we can go through it.
Let's go through it. I'm interested in this.
These are all the things you have to at least attempt to do, possibly. So it's honestly pretty easy to do it the way current Hollywood is. Standard A, on-screen representation, themes, and narratives. A film can achieve this standard by meeting the criteria in at least one of the following areas. So you don't have to hit all of them. You just have to have one of these things occur for your production. Lead or significant supporting actors from underrepresented or racial or ethnic groups. At least one of the lead actors or significant supporting actors submitted for Oscar consideration is from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group in a specific country or territory of production. This may include Black, East Asian, Hispanic, or Latino, Latinx, Indigenous peoples, Middle Eastern, Pacific Islander, South Asian, Southeast Asian. So a lot of possible things there.
This is so
if you don't have that, you can have just general people, general ensemble cast. At least 30% of all actors not submitted for Oscar consideration are from at least two underrepresented groups, which may include women, racial or ethnic group, LGBTQ+, people with cognitive or physical disabilities, or who are deaf or hard of hearing. Or 3, if you don't have any of these, maybe you have this. The main storyline, theme, or narrative of the film is centered on an underrepresented group. Women, racial, ethnic groups, LGBTQ+, people with cognitive or physical disabilities who are deaf or hard of hearing.
How did Oppenheimer qualify for this shit?
You had some people that were black in there.
Prominent. There was nobody prominent.
Rami Malek.
He wasn't that prominent. He was like the 18th most relevant character in the fucking movie.
Maybe he qualified.
This makes no fucking sense. This is so stupid. Oppenheimer does not meet this criteria at all.
Maybe because was there any retards in it?
No. I don't think that there was any. I don't think Oppenheimer met this criteria.
So what about this? The main storyline, subject matter, theme, or narrative of the film is centered on an underrepresented group. There was themes about Jewish stuff. There was themes about Japanese people. I don't know. Maybe that's how you get around it.
This is so fucking retarded. Hollywood is so fucking lost. So by this standard, I mean, Idris Elba's a fucking character in Sonic.
There are other things too, right? So you have to meet 2 out of these 4 standards. So it might not have actually met this standard, Jeremy. 2 out of 4 standards. Okay. The first one is about on-screen representation. Standard B, creative leadership and project team. So creative leadership and department heads. At least 2 of the following creative leadership position department heads: casting, cinematography, composer, costume designer, director, editor, hairstylist, makeup artist, producer, production designer, set decorator, sound, VFX supervisor, writer, are from an underrepresented group. So this is where you start. It's a pretty wide net that they're casting to look for minorities.
This is insane.
Okay. Other key roles: at least 6 other crew, team, technical positions, excluding production existence, are from an underrepresented racial ethnic group. Or at least 30% of the film's crew is from 2 underrepresented groups. So if you don't got any black people in the movie, you can have them behind the scenes.
Dude, this is the most racist fucking horror. This is worse than a fucking Xbox Live game chat. This is bad. Like, this is like checking people at the door like, hey, who are you fucking? All right. What type? Are you sucking dick? Are you okay? And what color are you? What mental illnesses do you have? Like, this is wild.
Are you black and gay? Because we can count you as 2.
That is wild. This is insane. Holy crap.
The third standard, industry access and opportunities, paid apprenticeship and internship opportunities. You have to have underrepresented groups that are paid apprentice or internship opportunities. The fact that women are on all this list is crazy. Like, they're basically just like gay, different race, retarded, or woman. Like, that's what the list is. That's what this list is. So basically providing opportunities for people to get on the job training or internships or things like that. That's another one. That could be pretty easy to hit if you're looking at hitting these benchmarks. And then audience development. To achieve that standard, the film must meet the criteria. Representation in development, marketing, publicity, and distribution. The studio and film company has multiple, meaning more than one, for the people with cognitive disabilities, in-house senior executives or hired consultants belonging to at least 2 underrepresented groups on their creative and development, marketing, publicity, and or distribution teams. At least one individual must belong to an underrepresented racial ethnic group. So, like, this is talking about even in the marketing of the film and stuff. So there are a lot of different ways to hit these benchmarks. That's lot. Wild. It doesn't just have to be on the screen. And this is only to qualify for Best Picture.
That is wild. No, I know this is old news. Someone said this is old news. 100% this is old news, but it's like breaking it down and getting into the details of it it's incredibly disturbing that this is how they view the world through an identity politics lens. But circling it back to Sonic the Hedgehog, yes, I mean, Sonic doesn't need any Academy Award recognition. Not that anyone was expecting it. No one was expecting it. No one cared. But it's just weird that this became a big story. I think that I don't know if Discussing Film was the only one that put it up. I mean, obviously, I'm blocked. You're blocked. But now, because of the new rules on Twitter, we can at least see their account now.
Yeah. I don't know. Obviously, it came from the Wrap, and there's a lot of them, right? 30% of the films out there that got released don't meet the requirements. I Am Racist eligible for a Best Picture nomination. But I don't know. I don't know if this is a thing that's like, why would we even bother submitting it? I find it hard to believe that Sonic couldn't manage a way to meet 2 out of 4 of those.
Yeah.
With people behind the scenes and everything. But who knows? There's sometimes where there's going to be animated projects that have a completely like different group of people that might work on it. Maybe they don't have as many people that would fall into that category. I don't know. Either way, doesn't really matter. But it is funny. It's very funny to see that the movie about hedgehogs and talking foxes and that shit doesn't qualify. I mean, Jim Carrey's cognitively impaired, isn't he?
He's been like that for a long time too.
Yeah, so he should qualify.
Yep.
Chronically retarded.
Well,
just saying.
Hollywood gonna Hollywood. So there you go.